Welcome to Playday, the podcast where one such as yourself gets to understand what it takes to put on a theater production. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Lily Slavinsky, and today on tonight, one needs to know about the man who wrote it. Let's take some time to learn about William Shakespeare. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Lillian Slavinsky, and today our focus will be drawn back to the one and only William Shakespeare. However, our main focus will be on his play Twelfth Night being put on by the University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh. Now, to understand Twelfth Night, one needs to know about the man who wrote it. Let's take some time to learn about William Shakespeare. Shakespeare was born in Stratford upon Avon in 1564. Throughout his life, he would write 37 plays and over 150 poems. He would later go on to build a large open-air theater that allowed many people to come and enjoy his plays. The rich would pay for the balcony to get away from the common people, which is something that can be seen even today in modern theaters. Shakespeare divided his plays into three categories. There were tragedies like Hamlet and Romeo and Juliet, history like King Richard III, and comedies like Comedy of Errors, The Tempest, and Twelfth Night. There were no female actors in his production, which is not common anymore. Now, instead of myself giving another history lesson about Shakespeare, today I have the honor of inviting one of the actors from the University of Oshkosh's production of Twelfth Night to come and talk about the show. Please welcome actor and comedian Drake Hansen to the show. Drake, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm okay. Okay,
Good,
so
good.
what is Twelfth Night about?
Right, yeah. So Twelfth Night is a classic, one of Shakespeare's classic concepts of mistaken identity, where two twins lose each other at sea and then they wash ashore, and then the main character, Viola, has to pretend to dress up as a man to kind of survive in this world. And it's, like you said, it's a comedy. A lot of things go wrong, mistaken identities, all the fun parts come into it.
Love that. So, Drake, what is the process like when working on one of Shakespeare's many plays? I assume it's pretty different from a regular show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's much different. Shakespeare wrote in prose and rhyme, so it's a matter of understanding what certain words mean and why those words are chosen, and then also just remembering there's a certain way and phrasing of how you say it. So I'd say that's probably one of the biggest challenges, but it doesn't come without enjoyment.
Yeah, it looks pretty enjoyable to me. I
Oh
miss
yeah,
theater. Okay, who are you playing in this production of Twelfth Night? And what are some
uh, I
key
am
moments?
I am playing the character of Sir Toby Belch, and his entire character trope is he's drunk and he likes to mess with people. That's his main focus, and that's been very fun so far. I'm in a lot of the different plot lines, pulling the strings behind the scenes, so that's been really fun to do.
Seems to be sort of a typecast for you.
One could say.
Have you been in a Shakespeare play before?
I have, yeah. This is actually my third Shakespeare I've done. I did one when I was in high school. That was Much Ado About Nothing, and then my first year of college, I was in Comedy of Errors. So it's
Oh.
really fun to get back into it.
How does one take how does one prepare to take on a role from Twelfth Night?
I think honestly, most of it, it's just a matter of reading it and saying it out loud and doing it because Shakespeare is meant to be seen, not read. So actually
Mhm.
doing it, doing the steps as you're saying it makes all the difference versus just reading it on a page. So I think the rehearsals are a key element, whereas other plays you can sit down and read it and read it and read it and be like, okay, sure, this is how we're doing it. Shakespeare, you have to be physically and mentally engaged while you're doing it.
That makes sense to me. Some muscle memory. We have
Hmm.
to take a break, but we'll be right back with a little sneak peek into rehearsal.
Quiet on set.
Action.
We at Film Society work together to educate the future generation of filmmakers.
We are taking the skills we learn from the classroom,
and transferring them into the real world.
open to anyone, regardless of experience.
So show us what you got.
That's a wrap.
Welcome back. We are here with Drake Hansen, but before we continue discussing more about the play, we are going to head over to our segment Sneak Peek to see an insider's perspective of the rehearsal process.
Lag means my niece to take the death of her brother thus. I'm sure sorrow's an enemy to life.
My troth, Sir Toby, you must come in earlier nights. Your good niece, my lady, takes great exceptions to your ill hours.
Why, let her accept before accepted.
Yes, but you must confine yourself within the modest limits of order.
Confine? I'll confine myself no finer than I am. These clothes are good enough to drink in, and so be these boots. Here comes Sir Andrew Ague-Face.
Sir Toby Belch! How now, Sir Toby Belch?
Sweet Sir Andrew.
Bless you, fair lass.
And you too, sir.
Accost, Sir Andrew, accost.
What's that?
My niece's chambermaid.
Good Mistress Accost, I desire better acquaintance.
My name is Mary, sir.
Good Mistress Mary Accost.
You mistake, knight.
May it fare you well, gentlemen.
And thou depart so. Sir Andrew, wouldst thou might never draw your sword again? I can cut them unto it. Wherefore are these things hid? Wherefore hath these gifts are hidden before them? My very walk should be a jig.
Shall we set about some revels?
Come, let me see thee caper. Higher. Excellent. Here comes one of thy kin. He has the most weak brain.
Oh, you're half drunk? Who's it at the gate, uncle?
A gentleman.
Gentlemen, what gentleman?
'Tis a gentleman here. Plague all these pickle herrings. How now, sot? Sir Toby?
So they
Dost not? Our lives consist of the four elements.
faith, so they say. But I think it rather consists of eating and drinking.
Thou art a scholar! Therefore let's eat and drink. Marion, I say, a stoup of wine. My lady boasts, we are politicians. Malvolio's a Pegaramsey, and 3 merry men be we. Am I not consanguineous? Am I not of her blood? Tilly Valley lady. There dwelt a man in Babylon, lady, on the 12th day of December. I am love, trip no further, pretty sweet, journey's end, in lovers deep, every wise man's son doth know.
Good! A most mellifluous voice, as am I, true knight.
The contagious breath.
Wow, Drake. That is just so much fun to watch. Most times-
It's way more fun to be in, I tell you.
I didn't know you guys were going to sing.
Oh yeah, no, this is a play with music. You know, it's
Oh, I love a good old
it's a
play
good
with
time.
music. Not as
We-
much
we
as the
love
musical,
plays with
though.
music. No, a complete difference. There's a big difference. There's a difference between a musical and a play with music. Everybody knows that.
Of course. Most times, audiences are only able to see the final product of theater production. So tell me, how much fun are you having up on that stage? You look like you got to have a lot of practice to act like that drunk.
Oh yeah, it's all practice. I tell you. But no, honestly, having people see the rehearsal process is really enjoyable to me. I think it's something that doesn't happen so often, and I wish it could be captured more. Like you see, like TV or film, and they have all these blooper reels of behind the scenes or things like that. With theater, you don't necessarily get that. So to be able to actually have cameras in there watching us rehearse, seeing the process, like of where we are now versus where we're going to be in 4 weeks when we open, it's just really cool to see that process unfold. And as you saw, we're having a lot of fun up there. This play is just all about having fun. Like every day we're coming up with like, hey, what if we tried this? What if we did that? And we're just going with it and seeing what happens. That's my favorite part of theater. It's the collaboration between people.
Yeah, I love just playing up there, but no, I totally agree. I mean, if there was somebody recording me though during a rehearsal, I would be very embarrassed. That is when I act the most crazy. That's when the energy comes out of me.
Right,
Um,
right.
what's your favorite scene in Twelfth Night?
Oh, my favorite scene. Well, as you saw in that clip, there was that scene of the three of us singing that song drunk, and that was a really fun one to do, fun one to rehearse because we had never heard it before. Luke, who's playing the guitar, came out and started doing it. He came up with that rhythm on his own, so we were just really excited about it, and we kind of just decided, hey, what if that second round we all just join in? Because originally it was actually two different verses. It was the one that he sang, and then there was another one. But then we decided, hey, how about we just do the same one twice, and we just get in on the bit, and it just goes back to that collaboration. So that scene I really enjoy because that later on in that scene is when we start to come up with this great joke to pull on Jordan's character, who's also in it. And I don't want to spoil too much with it. I know it's been published for a couple hundred years, but I can't say too much. Can't say too much, but it's gonna be fun and it's gonna be silly.
So, when can audiences watch UWO's performance of Twelfth Night?
Yeah, no, audiences can catch a glimpse of Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, April 25th, 26th, and 27th at 7:30 p.m., and then a matinee on April 28th at 2 p.m.
Awesome. Okay, one last question. What was your favorite role in theater? Or is this one coming up to the top?
This one, well, I don't like to count my eggs before they've hatched, so
True.
ask me again in 4 weeks where I label this one. I am having a lot of fun with it. I will say my favorite role that I've done of all time was definitely last fall, Oshkosh's production of Dracula, where I played Abraham Van Helsing. That one to me was just such a perfect blending of dark twistedness, but it also had that humor and lightheartedness. And it really let me, as an actor, kind of show off more things that I could do. Because typically, and as you know, my typecast is what's in 12th Night. Like that's what I'll be casted in for a long time, and I'm okay with that. But to be able to do something different that's so complex, that's what every actor strives to do in his or her career down the line at some point. So that one was probably the pinnacle of what I've done so far.
That was such a good one. It's a deep character, many, many
Mhm.
layers. Let me think of what else. Well, what has been your favorite thing to do in rehearsal? Do you have any like pre-show rituals or pre-rehearsal things that you do?
I know this is controversial, but I don't really do a pre-rehearsal or pre-performance ritual. My whole idea and mindset is when you're there, you're in it to do it, and if you're bringing in anything else, you really shouldn't be doing it in the first place. Like, because people have asked me like, what's going on in your head when you're performing on stage or things like that, and I tell them nothing because that the only thing that should be in there is the character, and I
Exactly.
kind of
Well,
strive
thank
to
you
do
so
that.
much, Drake, for coming on today's podcast to share some insight on what it takes to be a part of Shakespeare plays. Would you like to let the audience know where they can find you and information to go and enjoy UWO production of Twelfth Night? Oh, well, thanks again for coming on and have a great rest of your day.